Legend has it that Charlemagne, king of the Franks and Holy Roman Emperor, liked to amaze his guests with a trick. His tablecloth was made of an unusual material and could be cleaned of stains by fire instead of water. For his guests, the cloth was perhaps made of the mystical scales of dragons or the legendary feathers of the phoenix. Today, however, we know this material as asbestos, and we know about its properties and dangers. The mineral is found all over the planet and is characterized by its fiber-like structure. The fibers can be woven into yarn, which is chemically resistant, fireproof, insulating, and easy to use. These helpful properties have opened up numerous application possibilities. Asbestos was first documented in a book about stones by the Greek philosopher and naturalist Theophrastos of Erissos. In ancient Greece, asbestos was also used as a wick for the eternal flame of the Acropolis and as a material for burial shrouds and tablecloths. Nevertheless, this knowledge from antiquity was almost lost in the Middle Ages. Asbestos became mystified and rare. It was not until the early days of industrialization that asbestos was used as fireproof clothing for firefighters. Shortly afterwards, it was also used in the roofs of housing or as thermal insulation in steam engines. Less than a century later, the Austrian Ludwig Hochschild opened the world's first asbestos factory. The global triumph of asbestos had begun. From then on, there was asbestos in cement, in walls, in pipes, in flower pots, and in electrical appliances. But the use of asbestos did not stop there. During the Second World War, toothpaste, parachutes, and cigarette filters were also made from the fireproof fiber. Only a few years later, the risks of the miracle fiber were discovered. Asbestosis was recognized as a disease as early as 1900, but it was not until 70 years later that it was revealed that when inhaled, the small, sharp-edged fibers could permanently damage the lungs and cause cancer. 20 years later, the first countries began to ban asbestos completely. For many people, however, it was already too late. The Australian town of Wittenoom is still regarded today as a reminder of the dangers of asbestos. The dust from the Blue Asbestos mine was omnipresent in the mining town. The unwitting residents were only confronted with the effects decades later. More than 2,000 people died from asbestos-related diseases. Since 2008, an area of more than 46,000 hectares around the city has been considered a contaminated area. Today, most industrialized nations have completely banned asbestos. In many developing and emerging countries, however, the silicate continues to be mined and used despite the dangers. But even when renovating old buildings, asbestos fibers can escape into the air and become dangerous. Professional asbestos analysis helps to evaluate this risk. Be aware of the age of the property when renovating and stay safe.